If you want to know more about the Celtic festival of Samhain, the great-great-great-great-great-grandfather of Halloween, and also to find out how you can use this time of year to transform your life and to really get to know who you are and where you're going to, then stay tuned. Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name's Emma Jane from Reroot Your Life, and in this video we're going to be talking about the Celtic festival of Samhain, the great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather of modern day Halloween. And the really interesting thing is about this festival is that if you're on a personal development path or a spiritual path or just a human being trying to figure it all out, Samhain is a time in the year that you can really get to grips with transforming your life and really knowing where you come from, because when you know where you come from, you know where you want to go. So there's going to be a super exciting video, but I've also got some really exciting news towards the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let's get into Samhain. Before we do that, if you're passionate about personal development, changing your life and enjoying your life's journey, and basically being happy, then please subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you get notified every time I bring out new content, because there's tools, there's tips, there's life advice and real people on this channel that are working on themselves just like you. So if you want support on that journey, subscribe now. And the pumpkins. Halloween used to have a very different meaning to our ancient ancestors. When you go back to Celtic times, Halloween was called Samhain, and this was the Celtic celebration of the ending of the Wheel of the Year and the beginning of the Wheel of the Year. It was a time where they celebrated death, the time where they celebrated death as part of the cycle of life, not as a morbid thing, but they believed that you were born, that you lived, that you died, and then you were reborn, and that all of these parts were essential to life. So they saw it as a time of honouring death in nature, death in the winter, because they saw the winter as a time of death. You know, there wasn't very many plants alive as there aren't today. Animals were hibernating. So this is a time that they would make offerings to their gods to be able to survive the dark times. But that wasn't the only reason that we have all this sort of spooky energy at Halloween today. The other reason that we have this affiliation with ghosts and demons and ghouls in the night comes from the Celtic belief that on Samhain Eve, the veils between the worlds were thin, and our ancestors, the people that had died, their spirits would be able to come back to the world of the living, and we'd be able to spend one night of the year together. So it was this time of celebrating your ancestors, this time of connecting with your lineage. When you go back in time, our ancestors knew where they came from. If you look at Wales, they used to say, instead of just saying, my name is Emma, the daughter of Graham, they would say, my name is Emma, the daughter of Graham, the daughter of who's, I don't actually know my great-grandfather's name, but they would say the daughters of the name 7 generations back. So knowing where you came from was a really important part of their culture. And they were very proud of it, and they honoured their ancestors, similar to ancestor worship we see in Eastern cultures today. And this is one of the themes that I think is really important for us today, but I'll get back onto that in a minute. So what they used to do is they would set up a feast for these ancestors. They would set up a feast, and there'd be an offering made of food to their ancestors, and it was considered a huge taboo if you actually ate any of the ancestors' food. And then they would put it outside in the morning and give it and offer it to the earth so that it went to the ancestors that way. And this was a night where they would tell stories of the people that had gone before. They'd keep that vigil until the morning, when they considered that the new wheel was born, the new year was born, and the ancestor spirit had passed away. There's also this theme of letting go at Samhain, and this comes from nature. This comes from what's going on in nature. So you've got the letting go of the trees, the letting go of the leaves, plant life is dying back, and all this stuff that's being let go of, all this plant life that's dying, becomes the nourishment for rebirth. And these are the two really big important themes for Samhain. Knowing where we came from and transformation are the two themes from the Celtic Samhain that I think are really important to us today if you're working with spiritual growth, where you're aligning with the seasons like I do in seasonal spirituality, or if you're a person who likes to concentrate on your personal development and your personal growth. Because I find personally that by aligning my personal growth with the seasons that actually it becomes a much more powerful process. So ancestors is the first theme of Samhain. You might think, well, why is it important for me now to know where I come from? Well, the thing is that you are here on this earth walk because of the love and lives of generations. Generations of people had to fall in love and reproduce and live and die in order for you to be here. And within your body, within your physiology, your DNA, they have given you gifts. They have given you skills. They have given you the way that you look. You know, I've got one ear that's slightly higher than the other and they're completely different shapes because I get it from 2 different bloodlines in my family. You can see it quite clearly on photographs. So we've got these gifts in our DNA. And at the same time, the people that we love, that we have lived with, that have passed on in our family, have also taught us through their socialization with us in our young years, through their cultural understandings, from the way they live their lives. They've given us teachings. And if we know this, if we know where we've come from, if we know where our root is in life, then you can look at where you're going and moving forward. So this is something that I do every year. Every year I pick an ancestor, a family member that I would like to connect with, to honor at this time of year. I write them a letter, I have a look at what I learned for them, what they taught me, how much I'm like them, how I'm different to them, and really get an evaluation of where I have come from. Especially because a lot of our early childhood development is done where we're not very conscious of it, and it's these people, our parents, our grandparents, our aunts and uncles, our brothers and sisters, that really teach us the core life lessons we have as younger people. And by getting aware of that, we really start to understand ourselves better. I'm not going to go too much into how I work with my ancestors at this time of the year. There's a link down below to a blog post that I've written about the process that I do on a yearly basis. So if you're interested in that, you can have a look on there on my blog on www.rerootyourlife.com/blog. But the theme that I feel this year is so important for me, and maybe also for you sitting at home watching this video, is this idea of letting go and transforming. So what do I mean by that? Well, if you think about the leaves falling off the trees, like I said before, the stuff that falls off the trees nourishes the roots so that we can grow again. And I love the fact that at this time of the year where you have the ending of the wheel and the beginning of the wheel, or basically the new year when you walk with the wheel, that this is the point where you let go of things. And I think especially this year in 2020, I don't know about you guys, but I've learned so much about myself through being in isolation, about who I am, habits that I have, a lot of stuff not positive. You know, a lot of stuff I can see that is holding me back and dragging me down and stopping me from transforming the life the way that I want to. Even though this is something I work with all the time, I can still see that there's been a deeper layer this year by this period of almost hermitage, you know. Hermitage, is that the right word? Let's say hibernation. Hibernation that's brought with COVID, of having to be at home and having to be socially isolated. So, and this idea of the Celts, where we had this birth, life, death and rebirth, the idea of the nourishing of the old, bringing the new, I really love to bring this into my Samhain work and into connecting with the wheel at this time of the year. Because there's so many things that you need to clear away if you want to be able to grow. You know, they always say you have to let your baggage go if you want to be able to move forward, you know, and it does weigh us down. So one of the things that I like to do every single wheel at Samhain, when the wheel's ending and the wheel's beginning, is to do some work on letting go the things that I no longer want in my life. And the way that I do this is I sort of draw a picture of myself. It doesn't have to be a huge, beautiful portrait, but it's a sort of a stick figure of me. And I basically do show on that paper all of the things that I really feel are holding me back in life. It could be habits, it could be beliefs, it could be all kinds of things. It could be people, it could be jobs. You know, there's lots of different things that hold us back. It could be an old behavioural pattern or a trauma that's happened to us that we haven't really processed. So I throw all of this onto a piece of paper and just really, really look at it. And then I choose 4 things. Sometimes 3, sometimes 4, never more than that, because you can't get rid of everything at once. It's impossible. You have to work through life in stages. When you throw seeds out into the world, not all of those seeds will grow. So I choose 4, the 4 that feel the most that are holding me back, the 4 that I really do not want to take into the new year with me. And I write those on 4 pieces of paper, then in a metal bowl, because it has to be metal because you have to be safe, I burn these and create ash. And then to remind myself of this time of year, of the old growth, the old baggage, the things that I've let go of, nourishing the new growth, I take the ash outside, I bury it, and I plant seeds on it. Then I cover it up. I say thank you to the things that I'm letting go of, because at some point in life they've served me. They've happened for a reason. The majority of them anyway have served me. So I say thank you for that, and now I'm letting go of you. And now I'm asking you to nourish the new growth that will come in the new year. So I'm asking it to nourish the new growth that will come in the new year. And then I leave it alone. Now, of course, you might find later on in the wheel that you want to do some active work around this. So, for example, this wheel, I'm going to get very personal now. This wheel, I've really noticed that there's been some stuff coming up from my past. There's been some trauma stuff that I kind of pushed down here and I haven't really faced. So I've already booked in to find someone to help me work through this, because, you know, there's some things in life that you need someone else to help you with. So I know that I'm going to be working through this later on in the wheel after the winter. But for the time being at Samhain, I just let go, trust the universe that that ash will support those seeds to be grown, just as by letting it go in my life, it will support me to grow new and better and transform my life. I hope this makes sense to you, and you can go onto my blog and read a lot more about Samhain there, or on my Facebook page and find out about it there. But if you have any specific questions in this video, please write them in the comments below, because I will get back. I answer each and every person that comments on my videos, so please do put them down there. Now, if you'd like to know more about walking with the Wheel of the Year and working with Samhain and the different festivals, my book, Walking the Wheel of the Year, is available on Amazon and lots of different places. It's available at Book Depository, you can get it at Target. There's loads of places you can find this online, so do grab your copy if you want that. But I promised you some very exciting news, and that's what I can't wait to tell you about today. And that is, if you feel that you would really like to work with this idea of walking with the Wheel of the Year and aligning your personal growth and your spiritual growth, or your personal growth or your spiritual growth, it doesn't have to be both, it can be either or, with the seasons of nature, then I would love to invite you to walk the Wheel of the Year with me. I've been teaching Walking the Wheel of the Year in Denmark in workshop programs over here for a long time, but this year I have now made my first online Walking the Wheel of the Year experience, and you can get it at the link down below, which is walkingthewheeloftheyear.podia.com. Now, this is not just a course that gives you, I give you videos, PDFs, you've got shamanic journeys on there, there's loads of support. But because I think it is so important to do personal growth as a community that supports each other to grow, I'm also giving you the opportunity to come, when you sign up for the course, to come and join the private Facebook group where we'll be doing live workshops with me and with people from all over the world who are working on themselves just like you, because then we can all grow together. And I think it's really important to point out that with this course you don't need any particular spiritual belief, because there's no right way of working with nature's cycles. It's about finding the right way for you. So I throw all of my tools at this, everything I've learned the last 22 years with working with the Wheel of the Year and connecting with my spiritual and personal growth with nature. I literally throw everything at you, and the one rule is you take what works for you and leave the rest behind. So there's some historical stuff, there's personal growth tools in there, there's spiritual growth, there's shamanism, there's ceremony, but you only take what works for you. This is about helping you find your path in life and your way to connect and reroot in yourself, but also to connect with nature's rhythm, which is basically what we're designed for. You know, we've just kind of forgotten it in the last 250 years. So it's about getting back to that natural rhythm. So check it out down below. I do have to say, if you're watching this video in 2020, the places in the circles will only be open until November the 1st, midnight November the 1st. And here on Friday is the first opening circle. It's on the 30th. So if you want to be part of that live, if you want to come into the very first circle of this very first online community, Walking the Wheel of the Year course, then grab your space right now, because I would love to take this journey with you. And I think that's also really important for you to understand, is that when we do this, yes, I'm teaching you, yes, I'm guiding you, but I do this work with you. We're on this journey together. We as a circle are supporting each other, and we are also sharing with it. So I'd love to work with you and invite you to come into that space, because I look forward to learning from you as much as you learn from me. So that's the big news. It's down in the comments below. Please share this video with other people that you think might be interested in taking this journey. But also, if there's people you know that really need to let go of something, then please share this video with them, because this process may help them to literally drop what's going on in their life that's holding them back and allow that to nourish the new growth. Don't forget to come along next week, because there'll be a new video coming out then. And in the meantime, if you want to connect with me, you can DM me on Insta, you can check out my Facebook page, Reroot Your Life, contact me through the website. I look forward to connecting with you. And remember guys, whatever you do, wherever you are in the world, the most important thing in life itself is enjoying the journey.